So now there is a concept of class called as arguments and parameters. Okay, what is the difference? Let's understand. Arguments and parameters. This is usually asked in the interview also. Try to remember. When we see the term parameters, the parameters are basically the variables used in function definition. The variables used in function definition, variables present in function definition inside parenthesis used to store incoming data. I will explain the meaning of incoming data. Next is class arguments. Arguments are basically present in function call and are used to transfer data to parameters. That means, let me show you this one a simple example first. Suppose when function def function, okay, and here I'm writing x comma y colon print, let's say x comma x, print y comma y. Just writing written normally. I'm calling the function. Suppose let's say if I have a variable here a is equal to 34, b is equal to 45. These are present in the global scope. Now I will write here a comma b. Okay. So here class a and b are arguments. Okay, they are used to transfer data. It is not necessary in the Debasis. It is not necessary that a function will return anything. Okay, I've just written an empty return statement. Okay, just to terminate the function. That's it. Here, even if you don't mention return statement, then also it is fine. It will work in this exactly same manner. Okay, but just I have mentioned, just it looks good. It looks complete. Okay, so x and y are basically class parameters. So what will happen in this case? Since let's say just for the sake of discussion, assume that A and B are present in the local scope. A and B are present in the local scope. So what will happen here? The data of A will get stored inside the X variable. A data will get stored inside the X variable and B data will get stored inside the Y variable. See, read the definition class here. Parameters are basically the variables present in function definition. Ye, X and Y. Okay, defined inside definition inside parenthesis, used to store incoming data. Okay, whatever data will be given to them by arguments will be stored inside the parameters. Okay, and X parameters are local. Okay, parameters class are local. The scope of parameters is basically local to the function definition only. That means X and Y here are local to function. Got this class, everyone, so far? Let me show this. See, X A got stored inside the X variable, so it is showing X 34. B got stored inside the Y variable, so it is giving us 45. Got this class, everyone, or not? Okay, let me explain this again with a different example. Here, X and Y are present in the scope of calculator, right? Now, what I will do, I need an X and Y here inside the add function. So what we can do, class, here, I will write here. Suppose just for the sake of explanation, I'm changing this to A. A is equal to B is equal to. So A and B class are present here in the global scope, in the calc scope, in the local scope of calc function. Okay, and here x and y is required here. So what I will do, while calling the add function, here I will mention A comma B. So these are called as A and B are called as arguments here. I am passing some arguments, and the data will go to parameters x and y here. So whatever data is stored inside the A variable here will get stored inside the x variable here. B data will get stored inside will go to y variable. So x and y are parameters, A and B are arguments. Just a terminology that we use. Parameter word is used for function definition, okay, and argument word is used for function call. So that is why A and B are A and B are arguments because they are written in function call. Clear class, everyone? Okay, understand the see. Return statement is being used to transfer the data from the function definition to function call, right? Similarly, arguments and parameters are used to transfer the data from function call to function definition. Getting this class or not now? Is everyone getting this class now? Perfect. Okay. So see, let's say what I'm doing, I'm restarting the kernel. And I'm removing these arguments and parameters for now. So if I call this calc function, wait a minute. Okay, I entered 8, I entered 5. Operator is plus, it is, you can see it will throw error now. Throw error, name x is not defined. Okay, name x is not defined. This is real examples, there no. Okay, I will give more examples, don't worry. Okay, suppose let's say now I will enter here a comma b, and here I will enter x comma y. So now if I run this code, 8, 5 plus, so you can see it is working fine. Got this class or not? Arguments and parameters. Okay. Now let me show you some real life examples that you have already used. Okay. Suppose let's say you have a string with you. Hello world. Okay. Now let's say you want to split it. So what you will write? You will write s dot split on the basis of space, right? Remember I told you, explained this earlier also. So here, can I say this space is an argument which is given to the split function in the backend? Yes or no? On the basis of space, it is splitting data in the backend. Getting this class or not? Okay. See, I can change. Suppose let's say I'm saying 27, 12, 1990, and I'm writing here DL is equal to DOB dot split on the basis of slash. See, so here we change the argument to slash. Got this now, class? We have been using arguments from the very beginning. very first day, literally very from the very first day. When you write print hello, suppose you have a variable x is equal to 3, and you write print hello comma x. So can I say that these two are arguments which are given to the print function? Print is using this data, na? Print is a function. So in the back end, it is doing some task, okay, on the incoming data. So we are giving hello and x as arguments here to the print function. Print function might be using some parameters to store the incoming data. And on the incoming data, it will do some processing and it will accordingly print the data on the screen. All of you got this class or not? Okay. So that is basically your arguments and parameters. I hope all of you understood now. Okay. Let me show you another example. Okay. We created this code. Add an average. Okay. And I was calling the average function from here. Suppose class, let's say x and y are not present here. Instead, they are present here. So now what we will do, class? Will this code work? If we run this code, should this ideally code work? Why no? Because x and y are being used in the add function, right? And x and y are not present in the local scope of add function. Okay, they are present in the local scope of our function. So what you can do while calling the add function, you can write here x comma y. Got this plus or not? Now that will work, na? So now I don't, now also do, function call में तो we have to add x to y here also, right? Yes, right away. You have to write, these are arguments, and these are parameters. You can change the arguments to something else also. So A and B. So if you're changing the here, so you have to change here also in the arguments. A over B. Clear class now, everyone? Clear class till here? Completely? Okay. So that is basically mostly about your functions. Okay. Now there is something class called as C. We saw this thing. Okay. Arguments and parameters. Now there is a concept. There is not concept, I would say. There are multiple types of arguments present. Okay. Types of arguments. Okay. The first type of argument that is present class is your required positional argument. Second is keyword argument. Yes, you can return more than one value. Suppose let's say class you are writing return z comma maybe high. Okay. So here what will happen? In this now in this case, what you need to do? You have to store the incoming value in some variable. Okay, like this. Suppose you can write here c is equal to add a comma b. Okay. So here c will become a tuple because we are returning two values. So c will automatically become a tuple. And then here what we can do, we can write here C1. All of you got this code or not? Sorry, C1 is C0. Got this? Plus, because C1 will be high, na? I am returning two values right now, Z and high, both of them I am returning two values at a time. Here at this place, I am returning two values. So Z will go, what will happen? C will become a tuple. C will become a tuple. Suppose X and Y are basically 3 and 4, let's say. So Z will become 7, okay, and 7 comma high. This will be C. Because two values are being returned na, from here. So these two values will get stored inside the C variable as a tuple format always. Okay. So because why we need to create a list? List is mutable, no. Do we need to modify this data incoming data? No, no. So to create a tuple, because there is no need to modify the data. Okay. So Z will get stored inside in the first place. Okay. And this in the second place, your high is there. So in the second place, your high will be there. Okay. Now what will happen? If I want to, if I use C0, so C0 will give me 7. Got this class, everyone? See, C0 I am using. Okay, high, if you want to use somewhere else, you can do that. There is one more thing class that can be done here. Instead of writing C only, you can write C comma D. So what will happen? C will become 7 and D will become high. Clear, class? Because I am returning two values from here. So based on the positional order, first value will get stored inside the C variable, second value will get stored inside the D variable. Okay, in that case, you will write here C only, C by 2. Okay, these four types of arguments are there, guys. So let's cover all of them. First is class required positional argument. Okay, based on the uses now. Totally up to use and then. If you're creating two separate variables, then they will like unnecessarily use two separate memory spaces. Okay, if you want to store them together, okay, usually what happens is, suppose let's say, uh, if the like this is dependent on requirement. Okay, so suppose the data that is being returned is of similar type. When I say similar type, basically it represents somewhat similar entities. Suppose let's say I'm returning data about my marks of 5 subjects: math, physics, chemistry, mathematics, English, biology. Okay, I'm returning data of 5 subjects. So in that case, I will store it in a tuple. Okay, why? Because data is similar. Okay, it is marks data. Okay, but suppose let's say I'm in this case I'm returning two different things, entirely two different things. Okay, one is addition, one is high. Okay, so in that case, you can create them and store them in two separate variables. I cannot like right now, nothing is coming to my mind. I don't think there is. Uh, it makes any difference. It depends on the requirement, how you want to store the data. That's the only thing. Otherwise, I don't think it will help in any other way. Okay, so required positional argument, let's cover. Because I'm doing now, what I'm doing just to explain the concept, I'm just taking this particular, just I'm explaining this via general function. Okay, now here let us take this only. If I run this code, x is getting 34, y is getting 45. This is an example of required position argument. How? Here you can see class, the number, there are two things in required position argument. First thing that is there, the number of arguments, the word required is there, no? Number of arguments required is equal to the number of parameters. You can see there are two parameters, so that is why we are passing two arguments here. Okay, suppose let's say if I call func with just a, it will throw error. Okay, suppose if I call func with three arguments, 5, 9, 1, then also it will throw error because it requires two arguments. It requires two arguments, but we are giving three arguments. Got this class? If you give two arguments, then it should work fine. Func 2, 7. Clear class, everyone? Till here? Okay, that is an example of required argument. Okay, what is the meaning of positional? The data will be passed based on the positional order. Based on the position order of the arguments. That means here you can see, that is why I've written x and y also. The value that I've written first. Okay, here let us see. I've written a first now, 34 first. So 34 is given to x based on the position order. So जो पहले लिखा होगा, whichever value will be written first, it will go to the first parameter. Second value will go to the second parameter. Similarly, so on. Third value will go to the third parameter and so on. Got this class, everyone? Meaning of required position argument. Class. Okay. So this is most basic one. Okay. Let's move forward. Next is class keyword argument. Okay. Now what happens? You can pass list or tuple to a function. Yes. See. Func. I am passing a list 2, 90. I am passing a dictionary maybe. Okay. 2 colon 3, 5 colon 9, 4 colon 1. Okay. So see, X got the list and Y got the dictionary. Got this anything? You can pass anything, list, tuple, string, set, anything at all. So let's come here now. What happens in keyword argument? The number of arguments required is equal to number of parameters. That is written here also. But here the data will be passed on the basis of key parameters. By what do I mean by key parameters? Here, while calling the function, we'll use the parameters. I can write here y is equal to a and x is equal to b. So here you can see class, x is getting 45. And then what was happening? X was getting 34 because based on the position order. But here I've written y equal to a. So I am saying here y is the key parameter. Why? Because remember class, y and x are called as keys here, and keys will be always taken from parameters. Okay, because I'm using x and y as parameters, that is I'm using x and y here also in the function call. Okay, so y equal to a, that means the data of the a variable should go to the y parameter and data of b variable should go to the x variable, x parameter. Got this class everyone? How this is working? Okay. Next is class default argument. Okay. No data is given to any default parameter, then that parameter will assume the default value. Okay, let me explain. Same code. Here what I will do, I will write here y equal to 4 and x is equal to 2. What I will do, I will write here a comma b. So guys, how many values am I passing as argument? How many values am I giving to the function? Two values, na? So it will take both of them. But suppose let's say if I give only single value a. Okay, so what will happen based on the positional order? Okay, based on the positional order, your a will go to x variable. Okay, and since I have not given anything to the y variable, so y will assume the default value 4. Okay, similarly, I can put this as empty y because here you can see x and y, both of them are default. Both of them are default. Here you can see I have not given any data to any of them. It is both of them are assuming their default value. Clear class? All of you got this class or not? Now can any of you give me any example of any function, okay, that we have already studied that uses inbuilt that uses default argument? Any inbuilt function that we have already studied. How how print list, how कैसे, how, can you tell me how? Abhishek, Amar, list start from zero? What do you mean by list start from zero? No, list never start from zero by default, you said. Amar, how print function में क्या, which argument are you talking about? Which argument is taken as default in print function? Range you can say. Which argument you are talking about in range function? Tell me the argument also, na? Which argument is default in range function? Step size, yes. Step size is taken as 1 by default, right? In the range function, even if you don't mention step size, it will take default as 1. Okay, that is one example. Print function, if you remember class, I told you about the step argument. Step argument is taken as space na by default. Remember this? All right, Ranjit. Okay. There is another thing in print function. If you remember, END is also there. END value is /n by default. Abhishek, index string start from 0. that is not controlled by argument. Python follows zero-based indexing in all of them: wait string, wait list, wait tuple. Indexing starts from zero. List never starts from zero. Got this class? Print function में both of these are default argument, sap and end. Okay. Now I just covered one function, one method basically. Okay, split. Let me show you. Okay, here if I give space, so it will take space now, but space is actually a default argument. Even if I don't give anything, then also it will take space by default. You can see. Got this class, everyone? Got this class? Do you remember pop method class? Do you remember pop method in case of list? If you don't mention anything, which element will it pop in case of list? Last element, right? That means what? What is the default value? -1, right? Index equal to -1 is the default value. Okay. Let me show you one more thing class here. See here, what we can do now, we can basically use a combination also. We can use a combination also of different uh, uh, parameter, different types of argument. Here, suppose if I give 34, 35, 45, so this will work, right? I'm just giving empty print here, just to introduce space between so that you can understand. I'm again calling it. If I simply give 34, so 34 will go to X na class by default. Okay. Now, writing empty print basically will give you empty space. Okay. Now, one more thing that I can do, I can write equal to y equal. I can write y equal to 34. So here in this case, X will assume the default value. Are you getting this class? We have not given anything to the X variable. So X is assuming the default value 2 and Y is taking 34. So this third one is an example of what? Combination of default and keyword argument, right? Can I say this? We are using both of them together now. This one is an example of default plus required, because 34 is going to X now by default. Instead of saying required, you can say positional. Right? Can I say this? Class clear so far? Okay. So that is that. Default argument we have covered, keyword argument we have covered, and required position argument we have covered. Last video plus variable length argument. Which part are which part you want to me to repeat, Uzar? Okay. So here, what is happening? 34. Since I've written just 34, I've given single argument. So what will happen? Based on the positional order, this 34 will go to X now. So you can see, read this, see this one. X is taking 34. And since I have not given anything to the Y variable, because Y variable, Y parameter is not getting anything. Okay, there is no argument with respect to Y variable, Y parameter. So it will assume the default value of 4. Got this? And here in the last one, I have written Y equal to 34. So in this case, what will happen? Y equal to 34 will go to Y, right? In this case, X will assume the default value of 2 and Y will get 34. Got this now, Sudhar? So since I am passing data in terms of your keyword, so that is why I am saying और default भी use हो रहा है इसके अंदर. Okay, X तो 2 ले रहा है ना, it is taking default value and Y is taking 34 because of the key parameter. So it is a combination of keyword argument and default argument, both of them in a single. Clear class everyone so far? Yes, Tushar. If we give user input in function, then does Python will take default value? If we give user input in function, then does Python take default value? You are saying कि you want me to take input here only. यहाँ पे like this. Okay. See if I run this code, so I will enter 5. See, yes, it is taking default value 5. Yes. Got this class? Got this result? Okay. But in ideal scenario, you won't be using this now because see, let me tell you one thing, class. Okay, from which place are you currently taking data from majorly? From where do you take data majorly from? From the user as input, right? And to whom you give data to? User only, using the print function. Now, who exactly is this user currently? Who is the user as of now? Us, right? The person who is developing the code. So can we say the developer only, right? Yes or no? Plus, the developer is giving the input and developer is getting the output using the print function. Yes or no? Okay, now tell me one thing. In real life scenario, okay, once the developer has already created the code, so will they interact with the code in real time, continuously? Are they going to open the code like 24/7, keep the code open and then interact with the code? No, no. So in the actual final code that you will create, okay, which will go to production. When we say production means the live code, which will actually run in the live scenario, there will all the input statements, all the input function and all the print functions will be commented out from there. I hope all of you are getting this, getting the reason as well. There is no input function, there is no print function in the live code, in the final code. Okay, now you might think from where the data will come from. The data will come from the database. You will connect the database. The data will come from the database. It will be like this: x is equal to db.read. So it will read data from the database. Okay. And db.write y, where y is equal to x plus 1. Got this? We took 5 from the database, we added 1 to it, and we pushed data again to the database. Got this, class, everyone? Write means saving data into the database. This is saving data. And this is fetch data from database, saving data to database. Achha, it is not necessary that you will write this code only. It depends on which database you are using. It can differ. Just a minute, class. Hello, class. Yes. DB predefined object. Yes, yes. I'm assuming that DB. See, I'm just writing a basic general idea. I'm just giving you a general idea here. Okay. Assuming that the DB is a object of database. Okay. DB is basically used to access the database. So that is there. Obviously, this code will not work as of now because DB we have not defined. We have not. Tell me, class. Have we connected any database to the code? Third-party database? No, na. So how will this code work? Don't run the code. I'm just giving you an idea. in real life scenario, instead of writing x equal to input, okay, this will not be there. Instead of that, db.read will be there. Instead of writing print y, okay, this won't be there. db.write will be there. Got this now? Yes. Okay. So plus that is about your functions, arguments. Variable as argument is still left, na? Variable length argument. Okay. It can take any number of arguments. Let us see class. Suppose I will write here star x plus. Okay. So since I have given single, I have given nothing. Okay. So what will happen now here class? X, what it will do? Okay. This is basically example of variable argument. Okay. So here x is a variable tuple. Okay. That means whatever data I will give now, it will create a tuple out of it. So you can see since I have given no data, so it is stating single tuple. Sorry, empty tuple. Suppose I give 34 only. Okay. So it will create a tuple with single element. Okay. Suppose I am writing here func 34 comma 45. So it will create, it will do that. Suppose if I give here 2 comma 5 comma 1 comma 0 comma 6. Okay, then also it will work fine. Yeah. Sorry. Func. Star basically means when you put a star in the starting, so it will become a variable length argument. It will become a variable length parameter, I would say rather. Okay. Yes, Kunal. Got this. When you put a asterisk in the starting, so it will become a variable length argument. Okay. That means what will Python do in the backend? It will create a variable tuple. So X will become a variable tuple. Variable tuple means variable length tuple. So whatever data I will give to the function definition, all of them will get stored inside the X variable in the tuple format. Clear class, everyone? Clear class, everyone? Real-time example of variable length argument. Okay. Suppose you want to add some numbers. Okay, acha, we are getting a tuple, na? We're getting a tuple. Let me show you. I hope all of you know this particular function. Suppose you have a tuple with you, and if you write sum of t, so it will add all of them. I showed this function sum in case of list also, right? So sum function will work in list and tuple both. Okay, so I'm going to use this only. I'm creating a function add. Okay, now I can add n number of elements. Okay, I don't know how many elements you're going to add. Okay, but suppose let's say I want to calculate the average of them. Okay, so I will write here. X will be a tuple, right? Variable tuple. So I'll write here. उनका जो sum होगा, sum will be what? Sum of x, because x is a tuple. Okay, see here I've written t, so t is a tuple, and similarly I can calculate the length also. Len of x, okay, and then I will return s divided by l, okay, assuming if l is equal to 0, return 0, okay, else return this, okay. Now this function we have created. Suppose let's say I want to add two numbers at a time, 3, 7. So see, I'm getting their average. Okay. Suppose I want to find out the average of one number only. So average of one number. I want to find the average of 3, 9, 1, 6. 4.75. Got this class, everyone now? If you want to get second parameter value, then how can we get? Second parameter, what do you mean by second parameter? Are you asking in case of variable or the argument? Yes, Jayavardhan.
Sir, good. Actually, in the variable length argument time, so if you pass the more than one for arguments, that time how can we get the second and third one separately if you want to get?
Using indexing, no, I told you it is stating a tuple, na?
Okay,
Suppose let's say 3916 is there, right?
okay, but
So,
index we can get. Okay, okay,
so yes, you can write. Suppose if length is more than 2, length should be more than 1, है ना? Obviously. If
yes,
you want the second element, so you can write here x of 1.
okay, got it, sir. Okay, so based on the index only we can get it. Okay,
It is a tuple, no? So you can fetch the data.
so
Okay, so see,
so
you're getting 9, no? See.
so variable length argument always tuple length the variable argument.
Yes, always a tuple. Yes, variable and argument always will create a tuple, no matter what.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Mohammed, Imran, you can do that. You can use it, do it like that also. Okay, as I'm assuming that A is a variable. So A already has some data, right? You can do that. जैसे यहाँ पर, जैसे in this case, let me remove this for now. Okay, and here I'm writing, let's say, A is equal to 45. Write A here. See, got this, Imran? I guess you were asking this. Sir, can we use more than one variable parameter? No, no, Shriyam, no. Because automatically whatever data you will give, na, will all of them will go to your single parameter. But that is variable length, na, you cannot control कि नहीं मुझे पहले the first three should go to the first tuple, next three should go to the next tuple. No, all the data will go to a single parameter. Is there any limitation to length of tuple? No, Santin, no. The only limit is the sky. Okay, or in this case, the only limit is the amount of memory available in your system. Okay. You can give A in this. You can give it in string format also. Yes, but this will throw error, na? I am trying to calculate average. You cannot calculate average in this case, right? But one thing we can do. Let me explain. I'm creating a function ever1. Okay. So you can write here p comma star x. Okay. So what will happen? Print p comma p, print x comma x. Now there is a problem here. The problem means not a problem, but there is a requirement, there is a condition here. Key P is basically what here? Which argument is P class? Can you tell me? अरे फर्स्ट नहीं, अरे भाई, अरे मतलब type of argument I am asking. Which type of argument is P here? It is a required argument. Positional argument. And required positional argument means it is required. So if I simply write ever one, na, if I write here ever one simply without passing anything, it will throw error. But suppose if I write here ever one, okay, with single argument 4, so you can see it will work like this. P will get 4 and rest all data because nothing else is there will go to X. Now what Imran asked, okay, what I can do here, ever one, okay, I can pass a string here 4, 7, 8. So see, 4, 7, 8 will go to X variable. Okay, 4, 7, 8 will go to X variable here. Okay, and A will go to P variable. Got this now, class? Got this last code, everyone? Okay, and also one more thing, it is important. You cannot write it like this at all. This will not work. When you're writing a combination of required and your variable length argument, so variable length argument should always come at the end. Variable length should come at the end, yes. Okay, so here based on the position order, this A will go to the P variable and rest all, whatever is left out, will go to the X variable. Clear, class, everyone?